And we get rolling here on the 5th of February. Welcome to it. We were just saying it's still cold as colder than
which is good.
What would be one of those things?
The Dickens.
Colder than the Dickens outside is what it is. It's colder, and now there's some precipitation in the way of looks to be snow.
Still all night, just a little more.
Yeah.
Shovel. Shoveler must be just doing backflips, eh?
Oh, she's out there in her bikini.
Yeah. Well, she's from Buffalo. This is kind of routine for her.
She did a table dive.
And, dance?
Yeah.
Dive.
No, she did a dance, and then the dive, and then pole dance, table dive, shovel.
This program brought to you by Bet365, the world's largest sports betting platform. Get your account open if you haven't already, and if you do so, get that promo code NATION and use it. The app is awesome. This might be a big weekend for it. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And, of course, as always, we've got the super chat. You make a donation inside the YouTube chat, and we will send that money over to the Youth Centers of Calgary, helping to build and shape the lives of young teens and young kids in our city.
Love it.
That's how we do it.
By the way, that horn, vaguely familiar, Jack. How many times did you hear that horn last night, do you think?
It's got to be set at 50 over under at least.
You know what, though? You hear the horn. That means we're making a difference.
It's for the kids.
It's true.
Money's coming in for the kids. Money's coming in. What do we got going on there, Warner? We're making a little skip order or
Bet365. The Super Bowl specials are unbelievable.
Yeah. He just threw something in there that we're going to show at some point. I don't know what the hell that is.
I don't either, but it's awesome.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm with that.
Very
you don't
nice.
have to do that. You if you do it your way, you can go in and actually know what you're betting on. Rhett prefers to just throw some darts. Lights out.
Anything you want. It's the joy. It's the pleasure. It's the sweetest part about 365. You do whatever you think. Do whatever you feel. Whatever makes you feel good. Time to get into the opening statements for McLeod Law, our good friends over at McLeod Law, Calgary based. They're the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. That's not trademarked, is it? Do you think Brett's got that? He might. I take it back.
I probably. Or
McLeod Law, so good.
How many O's do you think they'd put in there?
Quite a few. Yeah. They'd find the right balance between more than one, but not getting too crazy with it. Whatever the stress is in your life and you need some legal assistance, some legal help, you need someone on your side, they're the people for it. They're Calgary based. They're right over there, ready to help, and happen to be the best in the business of helping people.
You missed out seeing Peter and the crew on Friday at the BMO Center.
How was that? Did you buy you didn't buy a Harley, hey, Red?
Oh, Reca 2, so I'm hoping I can loan one for the summer.
No, I got a street bike and a side-by-side.
The sidecar one.
Sidecar? Joey Juno?
Like a quad thing. Come on.
Okay. Not a sidecar.
Gotcha.
Like I was picturing Boom with the Snoopy leather goggles in the sidecar.
Oh,
you guys going on a bandit run. That'd be epic.
Red Baron.
Road trip.
Kind of deal. McLeod-law.com. Flames last night taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. I had thought about it too late. I thought about it this morning to go and grab the Jay Rosehill clip from yesterday. You'll keep your eyes on Willie Nylander because there's probably a chance he's going to get open and
breakaway.
Maybe a breakaway or.
Do you remember the other thing he said? He's like, this Bobby McMahon, he can really shoot it. Like,
really fly, really shoot it.
And he even says that this Bobby McMahon can shoot it. McMahon scores. What a shot.
McMahon. Yeah. 6-3. Leafs beat the Flames. Odd night, Rhett. Goal disallowed. 5-on-3 goal. 5-on-3 goal. Power play. Dang, it was not boring. But I do know that there were some. It's not about this necessarily, but go right to the. Kim says, I don't know why, but last night's game really bothered me. It just exposed our team in the worst of ways. We don't have what it takes to compete with the elites.
Well, and I get that feeling, but again, like it wasn't Dustin Wolf's best night, and I don't think the coaching staff would have been happy with the structure or efforts. So that wasn't your best look against the Leafs, who did blow your doors off.
So what are you saying?
I understand why it would be a dejecting loss, but I don't think that was anywhere near the Flames' best game. They don't want to play games that are like that. special
well,
teams.
The problem though, and I don't disagree. The problem though is that you have to go and play those games and play well in them, and they didn't. So
yeah, and Toronto, the better team dictates, right? Like Toronto was going to dictate how the game was going to be played in a sense, but I just didn't. There was a lot of mistakes and miscues that I don't think the Flames. They'll be doing some video today, I'm guessing.
Part of it too, I think, is just that they scored 5 with a goalie in. The Flames do that once or twice a year, it feels like. Just the ease at which they made high-level plays.
Without Marner?
Yeah, without Marner. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, they didn't. That guy was missing. Oh, they're leading point getter. Okay, yeah, that's a good team.
Yeah, so...
And you can say Wolf should be better, but those are some of the most elite shooters in the game. So
yeah, you get some posting ins and picking corners. Like, sure, you could have a couple more saves, but...
I watched it, and I was like, yeah, make that save. But... to Kim's text, that's the only way they win.
Yeah.
Against an elite team.
Yeah.
Everything has to go right. It all has to. You're right too, Ryan.
Yeah.
They don't want to play that way. Everything has to go right for them to beat the elite teams.
100%.
They don't have that level of skill. They need everything to go right. And they needed, if it was going to go their way, last night needed to be a whole lot more boring.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. When they're at their best, it's a little more paint drying than track meet.
Yeah.
Or a lot more.
It was a lot of odd man rushes and and oh gosh. The which was your favorite one of the night? I was trying to think because there were a few of them. I think it was the Huberdeau with the wall-to-wall saucer to Barry, who decided to pinch in, and then we'd already seen a number of times he's not going to get back.
It's not been a great showcase on his skating ability at this point. Like, remember the protest goal against Washington?
Yeah.
It was like when the pace car peels off and the real race cars get going. You're like, oh shoot!
Didn't he used to be a good skater? Wasn't that kind of his game?
Kind of. I mean, puck mover for sure. Run a power play for sure. I think he's in Europe next year, and he's a guy that showed up on a PTO
or at home.
Or at home.
Up to him. Up to
Kelowna.
him.
You think he's got a place by Iggy somewhere? Probably, right?
Nice up there.
He's probably got a great spot. Just kind of going through the chat. It does feel like maybe the Flames have a few AHL defensemen on the roster right now. I think that probably Barry falls into that category because he played well when he went down for the conditioning stint. He's at that level. I think probably Joel Hanley is at that level.
Waivers last year.
Miramanov's kind of at that level.
I think so.
Jake Bean.
Conroy, get your head out of your hoop. Let's go.
Enough with these forwards and centers. Get some D in here.
You're such a forward honk. You and Iggy up there in your lofty tower there.
Mm-hmm. Was it Ivory Tower?
Wingers and centers.
Yeah, that's right.
Score.
We don't need D. I'll just go get a guy off waivers.
Yeah, D's easy. They just shoot it off the wall.
It's a tale as old as time, Retro. You and Reggie in one corner saying we need some saves, we need some D. We got to play better structure.
You know what? Instead of analyzing the team's performance last night, let's go upstairs to some of those honky tonks that are running things and do a breakdown of.
It's racist.
Isn't that like a musical bar?
It's not racist.
Some of those honky tonks up top there. Those fat cats.
Fat cats. Got the fat pig in the ass. Those guys. Who's the defenseman in that group saying, whoa, fellas? That's
right.
Pump the brakes here.
Well, you know who it is. It's
Reg or Sarchi to get in there and say, whoa, hey, ooh. Come on now.
You know, they're missing someone, Dean. Do you know who it is?
Is it Bahl?
The answer is Bahl.
The answer is Bahl.
Yeah.
You're right. They're missing Bahl, but I think they need 2 of them.
I agree. So even when they had Bahl, you had a guy playing in the top 4 that has no business being there. And they rotated Miramanov and Hanley through. And now Jake Bean's getting a tiny bit. And Tyson Barrie on his wrong side. Like, it's just, you've got a lot of 6, 7, 8s. You need another balls. You need another top 4. You do.
Balls. They just need more balls.
I found the guy, by the way.
Hey. Pinder, earmuffs. Put your just me and you, boom.
Yeah.
Little chat. Wasn't it about a week ago that he was ripping the hell out of us? We don't want to build on this team, and
sure.
Okay, just making sure. All right.
Psst.
They need another D-man.
They do, yeah. ASAP.
Well, look, here's the thing. I where I stand long term.
Yes.
I would the best thing for this club over the next decade might be to lose 5 in a row so they don't go move more futures. I do think Frost was a guy they were going to try to add no matter where they were in the standings. Maybe
I don't mind that.
One is more of a
that trade is fine because it's a long term.
Yeah, and they're 24 and 25, right?
Yep.
But that said, my position has always been at the deadline, this team will tell them whether they're going to tinker or not. If they're in a playoff spot on March 7th, like, okay, now you're talking about what, $15 million in revenue, the owner's attention. Like, I'm making up numbers, but I mean, that changes decision making when you're that close to the playoffs. It's a financial windfall for owners. You're not paying the players. And to the point that Connie's made a ton, like, you can't look at that room and say, no. Top 4 Miramanov. Let's go into Edmonton. We got a goalie.
I'm serious. Are they, with those additions up front? I think that's added a lot of good depth. Are they a defenseman away from a playoff team?
I think it depends on what Vancouver looks like. Demko was awesome last night. He was really blanked Colorado. That's the guy they've been missing. Yeah. So if Vancouver is really good, you're going to have to be pretty good to get in. If Vancouver plays like they played last month, I mean, yeah, I think the Flames are in. If you're 50 games into the season or whatever it is, I get it, but Vancouver's like 3 games into their new normal, and they finally got Demko looking like Demko, and maybe it's just one night. I don't know, but you're tied. You've got the same number of regulation wins. You've played the same number of games. It is a 2-horse race for me. Like it's the Canucks car in blue and the Flames car in red. One of them will get to the finish line. The other will be peak sadness.
I'll say this about a D-man, and similarly to, like you say, the Frost deal, that's probably going to happen regardless. It made sense from an asset. That was an easy trade for Conroy to make.
Totally.
They could use a D-man whether they're rebuilding or not.
Mike,
right? Like you've got a goaltender. You want to play better defensively. You want to play a better team game. They could use a blue liner regardless if they're going for it or if they're just kind of steady as she goes.
Yeah. The distinction would be like a 30-year-old rental would be right. I mean, you could, but you better make the playoffs if you're doing that. I looked at it yesterday. There's one guy that I think absolutely fits what they need.
Conroy. Text Conroy quick, Dean.
I'm already let him know. He's working.
Okay.
Did you let him know? Okay.
Jamie Alexiak's got a year left in Seattle after this. He is huge. He is left shot. He is shut down. He is a capable top 4. He's basically a better or older or both version of Kevin Bahl.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the type of guy where I'm not saying push chips in. I'm not changing positions here, but I'm saying if you are going to add, that is the type of guy that would be a huge game changer for this, because now you can slot guys appropriately. The best of Hanley, Miramanov, Barry, and Bean, one of them can be in the lineup and play with Bahl.
I'd like to think of Ryan Pinder. I love it. Go get him.
So then here's the tricky part. I'm asking around, like, what's it going to cost for Alexiak with a year left? It's like probably a first plus.
Oh, no. Get the fuck down.
And so that's where it's like, yeah, that would make sense for a Vancouver if they didn't get Pettersson, or for Dallas if they're loading up, or the Oilers for someone to play with Nurse. But for this team to give up first, that's where you're like, he's probably like 31, I'm guessing.
So he's
I feel like Alexiak would drive you crazy.
As good as Hanifin?
I feel like Alexiak would drive you crazy.
Why?
Kind of a big, clunky.
Big stay at home.
Yeah, it's not. You don't.
He
like
loves me, dude.
Well, no, he's not Branson. I mean, he can play top 4 minutes. It's not Zadorov where he's all willy nilly. Like, he is a rock solid.
I would take willy nilly right now.
Can you get Willie though? I mean,
gonna be tough.
That might be a first plus for old willy nilly. Time to go to the Insider Hotline. It's a presentation of Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating. You know what? Someone I heard yesterday. Oh, so and so they don't have any hot water. Their hot water tank, bluggy, and they don't have it.
It's not a hard fix.
It's really not. And we've been saying for months, be ready. Cold weather's coming. You're going to want Crystal Waters to come in, make sure that you're all set and safe and all that sort of thing. So after I told them, I told you so, I said, why don't you contact Crystal Waters? They appreciated that part. The first part, not as much. You can call 403-219-4100. Check them out, crystalclearcalgary.com. The thing about Crystal Waters is they get it. They've got solutions for all budgets. They're going to make things work for you. Whatever your situation is, they're going to make sure that you get through the cold snap and get what you need in your home to be safe and ready for the rest of February. We go to the Insider Hotline for Crystal Waters and say good morning to Jamie McLennan, who is, it's not cold where he is, down in FLA. All that gorgeous beep stuff down in FLA.
Yep. And I'm stuck in my room the whole day. So
nice curtains, Noodles.
But that was my car.
High-end curtains. This is the only backdrop that I could make work in this room based on my scenario. Let me see if I can turn this around there. So there's
look at that.
Yeah.
I've got this is my setup for TV later, my tie line, my internet, all of that fun stuff. So yeah. That's it.
We're filming something in there, huh? All right.
Yeah. Don't take a blue light to that duvet cover. Not after.
Listen, I sleep in my clothes most nights. So.
That's because you're hammered. That's not because you're conscious.
People like Rhett Warner was a nudist when he played, and he walked around naked. And I have no idea what sheets and stuff in hotels look like. Because think about it, you're walking into a room that somebody else just spent time in.
Yes,
that person could have been bare ass sitting in this chair.
Just a hairy beast.
18 hours ago, no shower, exactly. Just gone for a full lather at the gym. And yeah, exactly. Butt ass naked in this chair. So I always wear clothes. Like it's I don't wrap myself in cellophane, but it's
I do.
You think about these hotel rooms, it's dangerous.
Jack showers with his clothes on. He's very
wrap myself
conscious.
in cellophane.
Yeah.
I remember reading it was Jay Onright's book, and he talks about he and Dan O'Toole, they got to a room somewhere, they were on the road. He's like, "Oh, I've got his laptop bag or whatever. I'll go drop it off." So he goes, like a second later, knocks at the door, he opens it, and he's totally geared down. The trousers are off, he's got the tarp off, he's got like some boxers on. I saw you 9 seconds ago. What's happening in here? It's like, as soon as I get to the room, I got to gear down. I'm kind of the same way. It's shoes, socks, and let's get out of these jeans or whatever we got going. Let's get comfy in here. Let's enjoy this.
If I could wear my shoes to bed, I might. Like that's the thing. I don't, and it's not like we stay in dumps either. But it's just, the thought, you can't let it get into your mind.
No, you don't want to start thinking about it.
You start thinking about if these walls could talk, because some creepazoid has stayed in here before, and it's not gone well. Like it just, I have a tough time. Like I usually on the road, I do my own laundry. I clean my own room. I do all of that type of stuff. I don't allow people in here. It's just a weird setup. So I don't know.
And you travel a lot, so that would be you're dealing with this on a near daily basis, being on the road.
Yeah, and when COVID first started, I would bring like Lysol and be wiping the whole room down. Like it was insane. Like I think back to all of that, and we don't need to go there, but it's just like I traveled a lot even during COVID, and hotels were bare. I remember staying at the Ottawa Hotel, calling a game, and just our crew was staying there. So they gave us all like presidential suites, and like it was ridiculous. But thinking about the nonsense that goes on in a hotel room, I don't need to think about that, because I want to sleep there, and that's it.
You'd have so many stories if you were like a bellboy or someone working the front desk. Like,
yeah,
shit goes down at hotels, man. Shit goes down at hotels.
Big time. And that, you're right. Like if you were a guy who's worked at a Hollywood hotel for 20 years or something, and a bellboy in the mid 90s, you would have seen some stuff.
Well, I've heard that you have to sign like an NDA.
Oh, for
like
sure.
To work in those hotels. You're not going to be telling any stories.
Yeah.
Whenever you work here or when you're done here, because that could ruin our business if you got loose lips.
Yeah, exactly. Like geez, I saw Bill Gates, I would deliver this to his room 3 times a day. Who's the guy who's in trouble? Who's in the clink right now? Is it Diddy? Is that his name?
Oh yeah. Like you don't know. You were in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You were at the parties, Jamie.
No, it's because I got him confused with Kanye, because Kanye's wife was like buck naked on
that was quite an outfit.
What insane. Like, and my daughter, my 12-year-old daughter is watching the Grammys that night, and I walk in and she just wanted to see Taylor Swift. And I said, did you see the, Kanye's wife or whatever? And my wife's like, no. I said, just take a peek on Twitter. It's everywhere right now. And that's a bold statement. I mean, I don't know. It's nonsense, but
thought she was in the hotel room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Circle back. She thought she was in the hotel room. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
who's
what are
that
you
guy
guys
that's in the
talking
clink right now? Is it Diddy? Oh, I don't know. Is it Diddy? Yeah, right.
I've never been. God, I would have never been invited to a Diddy party or any of those type of high end. I was always with the Hollywood pigeons hanging out.
Or the lead singer of Nickelback, but sure, yeah.
Yeah. Lots of baby oil. The baby oil parties.
That's weird. That's weird stuff. Just go and have a good time.
What's wrong
with just going and having a few beers and a few laughs and enjoying your life? Now it's gotten to a point where people are weird.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. So
look at Tara's chiming in. What are you even talking about right now? You don't. Yeah, you're probably right, Tara. We could probably move on. So you were at a hockey game last night or something? Tell me more.
I did Ottawa, Tampa last night, and both these teams fighting for position, and good game. Vasilevsky made some big saves. He made 5 saves in a 23-second kind of flurry. That was the difference in the game. Ottawa pressed. Ottawa had played in Nashville the night before, which is a weird back-to-back for them. They got to come time zone-wise and everything. And but that being said, they play again tomorrow, which is a weird, like a back-to-back in the same city. So they go right back at it. And I look at Tampa. Tampa's got a few games in hand kind of on people in the East, but they know that their playoff hopes they've got 4 or 5 games in a row against the Atlantic. So it was good, the timing of it, because I was able to watch the, Calgary Leaf game kind of right into it. And, I was disappointed. You know what? You guys can talk to it more, but I thought the schedule caught up to Calgary. I didn't think they had a lot of jam, and I thought there were some mental mistakes. I didn't love Wolf's game. I have a tough time. I know those were 2-on-1s and stuff, but that's the goalie's got to take the shot, right? Like, and you get beat twice on clean shots. And I know they're partial breakaways or whatever. And, Nylander is a goal scorer. McMahon's had a good season, but you need some saves there. You need some saves. And I just, I didn't love his game. I thought, Rasmus Anderson had a couple bad turnovers, and, Uyghur, like they didn't have it for me. I'm watching all these Flames games. I don't know how you guys felt. I just didn't think they had that extra jam and that extra juice against a team, that you need that against.
It was a rare bad home game for Wolf. It's his 19th home game he started last night. That's his 5th loss. Like, he's been unreal. So it was a little like, oh,
yeah,
what's happening here?
But he has lost 3 of his last 4. It's 3 straight on home ice. It could be catching up to him too, right? He's had that workload in other leagues and that, but this is kind of a different animal, Noodles. I would think that's fair.
It is. I just, it's sometimes you think about it too from his standpoint. It's a big platform game because a lot of people are watching, right? And
Eastern media.
If he stands on his head, all of a sudden, everyone's out east is going, Wolf for, Rookie of the Year. They shut down the Leafs, all of that type of stuff. I felt it was it's a lot of times when you play Toronto, you have a platform to get a lot of eyes on you just because of the amount of people that watch those games. But it was a rare off game. You're right. I'm not too upset about it. It's just more about I would have liked to see some of their key players really push through. And, Huberto jams up Barry. I didn't love Barry, like, pinching down on
He's
that.
no good. They need a defenseman. Balls out. Like, we were just talking.
It was a thin
that.
blue line before that injury.
Yeah, it just, there's a couple plays there where you're just like, all right, like and I like Tyson Barrie, and we know what he is as a player, but there were some thin moves there from him last night. You're going, like, just
he got walked by Reeves.
Yeah, walked by Reeves. That's where that's where the cherry on top was.
That'd be one of those things where today Huska just calls him into the office. He's like,
yeah,
and Barry just looked back and be like,
yeah. You just point to that clip and go, Ryan Reeves, nice player, 1,000 games, all that, but that's not his forte. And you're picking flowers on that one. So
he went months without playing, Noodles. Like he I think it was like November 12. He didn't get in until like late Jan. So
It's not a Barry. It's not a Barry problem. We're not hanging this on Tyson Barry, but it was not a great night. I'll say this it's not even in Wolf's defense, but that first goal by Willie Nylander, where Nyes makes the backhand pass and he hits it. We've seen Wolf come to his right and make that stop a lot of times, but most guys have it about maybe 2 feet off the ice, right in the breadbasket. Great play for him to get over, but still it's in the mail slot in the top corner. This is Nylander now. Hell of a shooter. I mean, and you maybe want to save on that second one as well, but you almost give him the benefit of the doubt because you know how well he shoots it. We talked about it yesterday going into the game. We don't need to do it again. He's a great Leaf. The outside noise doesn't bother him. It doesn't get him all bogged down in his confidence. He's just a hell of a hockey player that just seems to march to his own beat.
Yeah, and it's fine to be like that. You just can't have too many of them. That's the difference. Like, because he's a guy that, I always find that he plays on the perimeter. Like, I find that, if you watch him during a game, he doesn't go anywhere where, there could be a little trouble. It kind of gets around it. He's really good at sneaking up on people, lifting their stick and going the other way. We saw him do it to Uyghur. Like, he's an opportunist. He blows the zone. Craig Berube has pointed that out a few times. Like, he's a guy that, I think early on, the Maple Leafs struggles where a lot of these guys were trying to conform to, hey, north-south game, chip and chase. I could see Marner on the ice thinking. He'd go to circle back inside the offensive zone blue line, and then he would chip it instead of trying to make a play. Where Nylander was like, the hell with that. I'm just playing my way, and that's it. And you can have that, but you can't have everybody like that. So a lot of people that have to conform to playing within a style, and then you give a longer leash to somebody who can make you pay. And Nylander's been that guy. He blows the zone. I think he has the most breakaways in the league this year, but he literally, it's because every time he's on the ice, he wants to stretch the play. So he's at the far blue line, and he's good at his timing's really good. Like, he's a very good player, but I guess where I throw in the word but, the only thing is when the game tightens up in the playoffs, and people say his production and all that, but there's a lot of times where that area that you don't want to go to in the regular season on a Tuesday night, you got to get there in the playoffs. So that's where things that you shrink. And I've always said you got to lean on guys like that to see if they'll fight through. And if they fight through, good on them. They might win, push through and win to a round or two. If they don't, then, see what happens. They go the other way.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked with these types of players because here in Calgary, it just feels like it's been so long since there's been any high level of skill. It's like, well, we'll let somebody else be the 200-foot player. If you can shoot the puck and score like that, we'll find some other guys that can be 200s. Last night, interesting performances because we looked at the huge slates. So Carolina's in Winnipeg and Florida versus the Capitals. And the Capitals doubled up the Panthers, and the Jets, without Hellebuck, shut out the Hurricanes. Not that it's a big power shift and it's just one night, but those are some heavyweight tilts that were decidedly won by the Caps and the Jets.
So I would say, two things. Winnipeg, I feel like there's some juggernauts out west, and I think there's some really good teams out east. Like, and I don't know if Washington gets enough love for being, we'll call it the juggernaut type of team. They just win every night, it seems like. And they've got, I did them live 2 weeks ago. In the last couple of weeks, I've seen them twice live, and then we'll watch them a bunch. There's just no weakness on that team. They got good goaltending, good D, 4 lines that can play. They're big, they're mean. They don't have to beat you up, but it doesn't hurt that you've got a guy like Duhaime who can fight. You've got Tom Wilson. Like, they've got really good depth there. Watching, I kept my eye on that game because I thought that was unique. There was tied there for a while. So, you're at 2-2 and thinking, okay, there's a 3-point game because you're watching the standings constantly. But it was some flex for some top tier teams. And I think in the end, I still think Florida will be, I think they just kind of cruise into games and go, yeah, we can do what we want here type of thing. We won last year. We know how to do it. But I look at Winnipeg and I think that team is just, I've been waiting for the drop off. I told you guys before that, they get to January and February and They got everybody believing, including me. Where's the drop off? Where's their 2 week where they hit the ditch? Haven't seen it this year. So some heavyweight tilts that, tilted in the way of the teams that have been quite consistent all season long. And that's Washington and Winnipeg.
Yeah, and those aren't the teams at the top of the futures board. It's Edmonton, it's Toronto, they are kind of under the radar for conference leaders, which feels weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Edmonton just kind of, I don't know. They did it again last night. McDavid just said, "Okay, they pissed away. I think they were up 2-1, and then, or no, it was 1-0 going to the third. Yeah, and then they, 2-1, they're down. They tied to make 2-2." And then McDavid just goes, "I'm going to be a video game here in overtime just for fun," and put Connor Brown on the board. It's just stuff like that. Like Edmonton, I think is a pretty, solid bet of a really good team. I look at all, the Leafs are a good team. You saw that last night. They're a pretty good team. I still think there's holes in their lineup farther down their roster. Guys like you want more from Domi. I don't know if you noticed him last night much, like guys like that. Right. Like, I think that every team that we talk about, top tier, has a few warts, has a few things on their wish list. We'll see if they get them at the deadline or not. I mean, it seems like our pets' heads are falling off with all these trades and all of that. And, the teams that need it, they either got to be proactive here, because I feel like the trade deadline is going to come around and there's just going to be bit pieces trading here and there, because all of the big stuff has been been taken. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what, between now and the trade deadline, what team believes they're going to fall off, what teams believes they need a little bit of help to push over, and see where we're at. But, Connie did his part, made the big trade the other day. And, I like the players. I don't think it gave up much either. That Kuzmenko wasn't going to do anything here. So.
Yeah, and it's not going to under Torts either. Like, that's not a fit. Sorry. See you at SK in St. Petersburg next year. I
know. Like that one's a weird one. And you could tell, I don't know if Morgan Frost is not a Torts guy. You saw Frost do the between the legs play last night in the offensive zone. And, he's a tricky guy. Like, he's got good hands, good vision. I think he's an average skater, but I think he can get there, but he's got skill. And Farabee, I think Farabee's a really, dependable guy who can score and play two ways. Frost is the X factor for me, because he does have some flash and dash, and, he needs to fit into a situation where maybe he can work with somebody. And I don't think in Philly that was going to work. It just, you got to be a little bit more structured for Torts.
Our pits' heads are falling off.
That's right. I wanted to ask you, sorry, Ron, just before we get away from the Washington or the Jets, and I'm assuming you've watched some of Logan Thompson, Calgary kid, plays in the Western League for McCrimmon and Brandon. McCrimmon goes to Vegas, like, well, I'll bring this guy in. He's undrafted. There's not a whole lot of. They move away from Fleury. They've got who's the big guy from Buffalo? What was the
snake breeder?
Robin Leonard.
Right?
Oh, Robin Leonard.
And he can't stay healthy. Well, they're going to go with Aiden Hill and Logan Thompson. And then even then, it was kind of Aiden Hill who took over. I don't know what we're watching right now. He's got the new deal, and it's a hell of a value deal if he plays like this. He's third in 2.18 goals against, 923 save percentage. His record is 24-2-4.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look, you talk about not slowing down. He just looks steady. This can happen. As Ryan says, goalies are voodoo. And he's got a little dance that he does. I won't make him do it right now, but it's kind of hard to figure out. This might be the latest voodoo trick that we're seeing, where a guy kind of comes out of obscurity. One of the better goalies, and he's with Ottinger and Hellebuck atop all of the goaltending metrics.
I was talking to a manager yesterday that they want to suggest different rules for goaltenders. And I was like, okay, what do you mean? And it's funny because he was saying, you've got some of these goalies now that have gotten really good at 26, 27, 28 and on. So what's the use of drafting them at 18 when all you're doing is developing them for somebody else? Because, and I remember, I don't know if you guys remember the goalie coach and the goalie, Jim Corsi. So Jim Corsi years ago.
Buffalo.
Yeah. So Jim Corsi, I love talking to. He's just a very awesome guy. And I remember talking to him about it because he was at Buffalo and then he'd gone to St. Louis as the goalie coach. And he said that the biggest challenge when you're drafting, let's say a kid at 18 or 19, he said you have 3 contract cycles to get through by the time they maybe have a chance to be an NHL goalie at 25 years old. How many teams have the patience to wait 7 years for a guy to grow up mentally and physically? Now, there are outliers. Dustin Wolf's an outlier, but Dustin Wolf has a ceiling that he potentially could be a star number 1 goaltender in the league. And you can see, the progression in front of you. But a lot of times goaltenders, it takes them a while to get it between the ears, like to be able to handle the rigor of the 60 minutes, the league, the consistency, everything. So you go back to Jonathan Quick, Tim Thomas, all of these guys getting good mid to late 20s and then having 10-year careers after that because they still get it in their 34, 35. Marc-Andre Fleury wins a Vezina at 36. Pekka Rinne wins a Vezina at 35. Darcy Kemper, guys like that win cups in their 30s. So to me, there is something, I don't want to say the system's broken, but the way we look at goaltenders, coming back to Logan Thompson undrafted, just kind of shows up. I believe he was playing at Brock University. You've got, and here's a guy all of a sudden that probably should be in the Four Nations face-off.
Absolutely.
And, is going to get Vezina votes. And how did you slip through the fingers of 32 teams and scouts and everything?
Even Vegas, who found you, let you go, right?
Well, exactly, because they had to make a decision.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. I don't know what the rule change would be, but it would be allow your players to develop from a goaltender standpoint where you don't have to expose them on waivers. You don't have to. Now, I don't know if the goalies would buy that because what goalie is going to put up their hand and say, I want to spend 7 years with this organization and get a little, no sniff or anything. And you're going to hit or miss. It's just a very unique situation, but we are seeing goaltenders mature and get second and third opportunities, but it's always with the next organization. And I think that's where you see, and I talk to a lot of goaltender coaches and goaltender development coaches and stuff, where they're constantly looking at depth charts of other organizations and saying, who's the next Jordan Binnington? Because Binnington, he got called up there in that January, he was the 5th goalie on their depth chart in St. Louis. So, who can you find a Binnington that can be your starter for 7 or 8 years from somebody else, and it doesn't cost you anything? You haven't had to put money into draft developing, signing bonus, all of this type of stuff. It's like, hey, we're picking a 25-year-old that's been number 4 in a system, that's had Connor, like, let's just say if Winnipeg had a young goaltender and he's stuck behind a Hellebuck for years, you're like, okay, this guy's in the coast, he's all over. So it's interesting because the goalie voodoo is real. You got to find guys who arrive, and it's the right situation too. Washington's a pretty damn good team. You put him, in San Jose when they were struggling, or you put him in Chicago, his numbers look different too, right?
Yeah, Wolf has not been a fast track. Like, it's going to be the 6-year anniversary of his draft this summer. Like, what the Flames have done is very hard for teams to do, which is to be patient, to let a guy marinate, wait till he's over ready. And it can also strain the player team relationship in some spots because you're like, fuck, what more do I have to do to get a call up here? But you're right. It's like if you could slow that service clock or make it a bigger number until they're waiver eligible, that would make sense.
It's an interesting one too, though, because they were able to have patience with Wolf because they'd gone and gotten Markstrom and he was highly paid. And the other part is you had faith because he was lighting up every level. Well, he's made World Juniors and he's great in the dub, but he's great in the A. So it's not like he didn't give you the opportunity to lose faith. And the contract length for Markstrom was just right where it was, Wolf could see, okay, I will be the guy at this point. But yeah, I'm just looking at, you just look at some of the goalies who are in the top. Yeah, you've got Hellebuck and Ottinger, but then there's Bobrovsky and Markstrom and some others that, they're not with their original teams.
They're well-traveled, and you get well-traveled because at some point teams get fed up and they go, okay, we got to move on from this guy, or he wants too much money, he wants too much term. That's the biggest, I think, scary part nowadays for teams. Philip Grubauer's on waivers the other day. Seattle had to have him, and I get it, and I understood the premise, and he took the money. Good for him, because I believe it was 5.5 or 5 years at 5 that was on the table from Colorado. He took 5.8 times 6, so good for him. He took money. There was an extra 10 million there for you, whatever it was. I'm not doing the math right now, but they go and sign Joey Decord, and Decord's their guy now, and now Grubauer is being pushed out. You see it. I think that's the scariest thing for teams now, is signing a guy, a goaltender, for 5 years at a big number and going, how many of those years are going to be good?
Okay, so we talked about it like a week ago. This summer, you're able to talk extension with Dustin Wolf. He's got 1 year left at low money. He will have arb rights next summer. He's just turning in what looks to be a stellar first year in the league. You could theoretically lock him up for 8 years and have him for the next 9 years. And that's kind of the identity you build from. It's not terribly different than when Mika arrived. Everything changed. How would you even begin to start putting a number on that contract? Because again, the voodoo thing, but also the he's dominated every level thing. And then also the cap's going up. Like, do you think that's something they should do? Or is
and
it
also
like
he's got to want to do it?
Yeah.
He's got to want. Yeah, you're right. He's watching. And my biggest fear through all of this, I'm just going to remove Dustin Wolf here, but I'll come back to it. You got a lot of agents now getting in these kids' ears going, you know what, the cap's going up. You need this. There's percentage of cap and all of that. And sometimes guys just go, you know what, 7-year deal at $5 million. I'm putting $35 million in my jeans. Like, I'll take it. I came from nothing and I'll take that. And I've heard it's scary now. I've heard a few stories where agents are getting in these kids' ears and it's, they're steering them in directions where it puts them in a bad spot. And then the contract either blows up or they end up getting a lot less than they could have gotten right up front. So, and I'm not saying this for Dustin Wolf. I don't even know what an 8-year deal would look like for him. If you went 8 times 5 and say, we're going to overpay you early on, but you're going to be underpaid by the time it's done. You could be underpaid 3 years in of a 5-year deal based on where the projection we believe he's going. And if Connie and the rebuild, the retool works and they're a top tier team 3-4 years from now. But I think it's how much security does he want? Does he want to bet on himself? Jerome McGinley, I think, ever only signed 3-year deals. Like
he had one big one, but yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like he always bet on himself every couple of years going, yeah, like I know what I am and I know what I can get. But there's only one Jerome McGinley. I think it depends on what Dustin Wolf would want or both sides. But if you believe that Dustin Wolf is your goalie of the now and the future, don't you think you could sit down and get something done from both sides that would make everybody kind of happy? I don't know what that number would look like.
Well, I don't think it's 5. It's got to be more than that. Like, I don't think you put him in the same box as Joey Decord or, Blackwood. He's north of the $5 million class.
Play agent. Put your agent hat on, Noodles.
So who just got the bigger somebody just got
Thompson.
Something with a 6. Oh, Thompson just got.
Thompson got 5.5. Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't come with the pedigree that Wolf does. Is quite a bit older. Wolf's having success earlier in his career. Like, it's got to be well north of that number and term.
So then, I would have a tough time. The reason being, I mean, yes, it's not my money. It's Connie's money, and it's Murray Edwards and all of that. But I mean, yes, if you felt that he was your guy, and you're just hands down, here's $7 million or whatever it's going to take to get this done for 8 years. We'll put $50 million in your pocket. Would you be looking at that? I think there would be times where people would be like, that's an overpay if he struggles, or, and there'd be times would be like, this is a bargain because the cap's going up and, $7 million is going to be a second line guy or a third line guy when the cap's $125 million a year. Mm-hmm. So, that's where the economics come in. Maybe it's a bridge deal.
There'd be 2 reasons to do it from the Flames' point of view. Is one of them to keep him happy. The second one to get him on the cheap. That's why you're doing it.
Yeah, you sign these guys long-term because as time passes, they become great deals. And you'd have him locked up till he's 30. You're talking about like 31, like his entire prime.
The downside is you get Grubauer.
Yeah. but I don't think he's Grubauer. That's
I
the
don't
thing.
either. I'm not
I
saying that he is, but I'm there.
Yeah,
Nobody
you're
thought
right.
Grubauer was Grubauer. That's the point. That's the voodoo thing. That's your risk, is the voodoo, right?
But I look at the skill of Grubauer, and I always felt he was average. There's nothing wrong with the word average, okay? I believe the skill of Wolf is not average.
Yeah.
He's another tier above. I don't know what the ceiling is.
I just don't know why. What's in it? If you're the agent for Wolf, wow, it's guaranteed money.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
what it
really,
is.
really, really good money. But is there something to be said about paying what he's due?
I think like that this is a deal that we've seen similarities to. Like if you remember the expansion draft with Vegas, they went and got Shea Theodore out of Anaheim because Anaheim was loaded on the back end with all those D-men. And they knew Shea Theodore was going to be special. And Shea Theodore knew he was going to be good. And he was walking into a spot where instead of a 5-6 behind a really good blue line, he was running power play. Vegas said, we're doing a long-term deal. And you come to us when you're ready for the long-term deal. We'll overpay for now, because they knew it was going to work. And if you're the agent, you're like, well, you know, you might not be at market value the last 3 years, but Shea Theodore just got re-upped again at huge money. And it worked for both sides. And I just don't think if you're an agent advising players, like Dustin Wolf didn't have a dad that played in the league like the Kachuk boys. Like Dustin Wolf's a very different upbringing.
Yeah.
How do you say no to $60 million if they float 7.5 a year times 8?
That's what I'm saying. Like you have to look at what he values, not what the agent says. This is what you're worth and all that. What him and his family or his inner circle value most. Because I knew as a player, I valued security. Because if I can get a 3-year deal, I'll take it, because that means at least the team is willing to pay me for 3 years. He's in a different boat. He's in a different bucket. But that being said, he might just go, I'd love to buy a house here in Calgary. I'd love to be here for 10 years. I want to be the backbone. And you could argue with where the Flames are right now, you know, where there's lots of work to be done. But when you're a top tier team, like, okay, so Shesterkin just got paid. What did he get? 12 million? I don't even remember.
11 and a half.
Yeah, just shy.
11 and a half, whatever it was. Okay. Shesterkin's been up for the Hart. He's won a Vezina, all of that type of stuff. It took him a while to settle in. Let's say Wolf does that 4 years from now, right? Because it's still the team's growing, he's growing, and all of that. That's halfway through the deal. Like you're already, and you're going to be, you know, you'll be underpaid for a couple years. Like to me, I just don't see a scenario where it's like Dustin Wolf is considered a top 3 goaltender on the planet in the next 2 years. He might be. I hope he proves me wrong, but there's a chance he can get to, you know, a top 5, top whatever. I just believe has the ability to be that good. I guess what's the projection for him to be that top tier goalie? How many years from now could you guys see that he's a 55 game starter, top tier, money in the bank? That's if the projection keeps going, I think it's a couple years from now, minimum.
He's already that guy here. He's their most important player. It's wild. Like he is.
Okay. So I'm talking you're against your peers, like your comparison.
That's what I was going to say. You still have to outplay Shesterkin and Hellebuck and all these other guys,
and all of those guys.
I would think he's sort of in that like 8 to 15 range, right? He's not with the Russian quartet, nor the Ottinger, Demko, Hellebucks. Swayman's having a bit of an off year, but I think he's one of the guys that's in that class.
Yeah,
sometimes.
But I think after that group, that's where he'd slot in. And you look at the money that Ullmark and Swayman got. I don't think could justify that. So I keep arriving sort of between 7 and 8.
But you're right. Like I guess that's my point is if you believe he can be in that group, when, you know, what year do you project that he's in that group? Is it a couple years in where as he gets more experience, continues to grow, the team is better? So you're projecting maybe that's year 3 or 4, and you would be in that group of the 8 to 12 million. Well, you're overpaying him for the first couple of years in that progression. So you're right. You could make it a case for something with 7 and go 7.5 or whatever, and go, we're going to overpay you early on. You're going to be underpaid by the end. That's what we believe you're going to be. If you're fine with that, go ahead. I just, you know, I keep coming back to certain players going, I'll just bet on myself. But, you know, if you're the Flames and you believe he's the most important player, you got to find some happy medium to keep him happy to be the most important player for your organization.
He's played 49 games
Yeah.
And I think we're all in the,
Okay,
we're all on the same page. I don't really have a lot of concern. I think he's a very good goalie.
I'll give you an example. I call these Ottawa games. They paid all of their core. They paid Shabbat. They paid Stutzla. They paid Batherson. They paid Kachuk. They paid Sanderson. These guys are all making 8 or under.
Yeah.
The cap's going up, and they've got their core intact at $8 million a year. Tim Stutzla makes $8.25 million for like 6 more years, 5 more years. Like it's like, and the cap's going to be at 110 in a couple of years. And like, to me, Ottawa went all in and said, this is our core. You know, yes, we might have to shift it if it doesn't work, but these are the guys we're going to pay the money to. We believe in them. It seemed like a gross overpay because they haven't done, you know, still haven't made the playoffs.
They still haven't done shit. So it's good to say that they've got a core, but
you're right. So when they missed the playoffs last year, people are going, yeah, you know what, you put $8 million in your jeans and you're watching from the sidelines. So, but the minute that they cross over and get into the playoffs and become a perennial, and this team takes another step, and you know, Jake Sanderson, there's rumblings of him being, you know, potential if Quinn Hughes is not available for the Four Nations. Jake Sanderson's been, you know, bandied about as a, like, this kid's 22 years old.
Was it last night he walked the line and that wrister went in, or was that 2 nights ago?
2 nights ago in Nashville. He had 3 goals in 3 games. Like, like he's a special player. They got him at $8 million a year.
Yeah, and when he signed it was like, holy shit, he's played.
People were like, the guy had played, you know, 71 games, I think it was. They're like, we got to. But you know what? It comes back to the philosophy of what you just said. And that's why I might be changing my mind on the fly here. But it's like, if you believe that's your guy, then get him locked up. That's it. Yeah. Like Jake Sanderson, they said to him, yeah, it might be an overpay early on, but we know what you're going to be, and we believe you're going to be. So, hey, here's $8 million a year. Josh Norris, here's 7.8. Brady Kachuk, here's $8 million. Tim Stutzla, you're the best out of all of them. Here's 8.25. So they did that. And they got Drake Batherson at 4.85. And he's a 60 to 70 point guy. Jeez. Like, they made these commitments. Now, Ottawa's a different market than Calgary, you know, but the one thing I will say, and I'm rambling, but I'm kind of fired up.
GMing.
No, but I felt the other day in that trade, Peltier being emotional, you know, players, you know, even Kuzmenkov going, geez, I wanted to stay and stuff. To me, it's a good thing. Like, it means that people aren't running from Calgary. It's
you didn't say that last year with Lindholm and Zadorov, and
right, like there's people just dying to get out, and you know, whatever. Somebody's wife doesn't like it there, or you name it. Like, it's like this. These guys like what Connie's doing, like what the setup, how the organization has treated them with class. They like the coach. They like everything. To me, you know, the Flames should take a lot of pride in that, because they built something here and are building something here that people want to be a part of, instead of going, yeah, they're on my no trade list. Yeah, I don't like what I'm seeing there, or whatever. To me, having some emotion of those players wanting to stay and showing that, geez, I didn't want to be traded. I thought that was like, it was a real tell for me that Calgary's not in that, like, hey, that's a no fly zone, which is, I think that's really important for the organization.
I was on the Nasty Knuckles podcast this morning, and it's Riley Cote and the 25-year equipment guy for the Flyers. Knows Farabee really well. Said those two guys are jacked to come here. And you wonder, like, one's American. It's a very different market than Philly is. Yeah, there's the Torts thing, but he said those fellows are super excited, and that's important, right?
Morgan's a Canadian kid. His dad, Andy, was the announcer for the Leafs for 1,000 years. Andy's awesome, but it's nice. Like, you know, I think with a guy like Morgan, it's a big platform for him to come home, probably easier. I know it's a longer flight, but, you know, family can come and down. People forget how beautiful Calgary is, right? If you haven't been to Calgary and seen the setup and seen the surroundings, and, you know, I'm very close with John Abbott. Like, John loves it there. And John wasn't, you know, I'd worked in Vancouver, but, you know, I think that he's found a home there, loves it, him and his family and all that. And, you know, takes a lot of pride in calling those games. Like, to me, Calgary is a place that if you haven't spent time there, you should. And it's nice to see the players embrace that. And I felt bad. I know it was emotional. And you could even tell Connie in his interviews, Connie was like, yeah, it was tough to pull him and tough to tell him. I mean, that's the crappy part about this job. But, Connie did a good job. And I thought they did well in that trade. 24 and 25-year-olds to slide into your system. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it can all be a little touchy-feely, and it's people in Calgary talking about Calgary, but like you say, it was not that long ago. It was people were shitting on Calgary and the whole thing, and now, well, here's a guy that didn't want to leave, and these two guys are excited to be here, and Hanlon and Cronroy getting on the plane and to pick those two guys up, it's a little thing, but it's not. That's stuff matters.
It's the details. It's the details that they flew all the way, because I saw. I don't know, this BX made a comment. It's like, why don't you just get a jet from Philly to bring? But that's the details. The GM and the vice president of communications jumped on a plane to come and personally welcome you to their team and bring you back. Like yes, it might have cost Murray or the organization a few extra dollars, but that's a detail that goes a long way. Because when he tells his buddies, go, man, you should have seen the red carpet they laid out for me, man, that stuff means stuff. Because guys talk all the time throughout the league. Red, how many friends did we have throughout the league? Guys that you played with, the six degrees of separation. They all talk. Go like, yeah, private jet. PJ came and picked me up, and GM came and picked me up. Sometimes, when we played, you're lucky to talk to the GM ever.
I was going to say, what was the olive branch they extended to you, Warner, when you got the trade? What was that? How did that work?
Well, Red, did you ever get anything? Remember when they ran me out of Calgary? I got traded to the Rangers.
Yeah.
Ben Sather shows up, and he's wearing like a robe. He was like, I showed up. He was wearing like a white robe and had a half-chewed cigar. I swear he didn't know who I was. I had to introduce. I was like, hey, I'm Jamie McClendon. Yeah. How you doing? Like there wasn't a private jet flying to Dallas to pick me.
Dallas? Damn it.
Yeah.
Red was in a sky suite at Cowboys. He didn't have to go anywhere. He was.
I was at my brother's drunk. Yeah.
Noodles, I'll never forget it. It's like, oh, they made a okay, Red War. All right, yeah, this is see how this works out. It feels like a Daryl kind of deal. They're having the media availability, right? Geez, they just announced the trade. How the hell is this working out? Friggin' hillbilly Jim here's got his cowboy gear on. He's at the Stampede. He's half in the bag.
He's gonna fit in great.
This guy's gonna fit in just fine, I think.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's stuff like that. I mean, I love the stories, but it is a small detail that I thought was a real nice touch of class. With Peter and Connie going to do that. And, it was a quick turnaround for these guys too, right? They want to jump into a game, get going. Your adrenaline's rolling, your phone's blowing up. You just got to get to the game. But, they are going to settle in. It is a good trade. They did it the right way. I know, you take some flack for having to pull a guy during the game. That is unique. I think I've told you, Mike Camilleri is my son's hockey coach. So I was with Cammy the next morning, and Cammy doesn't kind of follow the league as closely. So I said, you see the trade? And he goes, no. I said they had to pull him during the game. He goes, oh, well, now I'm not the only guy who's been traded halfway through a game. And so he kind of told that story of how he got pulled during the game and off the bench and everything. He said it was a weird feeling, but he goes, ultimately that's business. You got to get the deal done, and you got to protect the asset too, right? Like God forbid a guy gets a slap shot off the foot or falls awkwardly and the deal blows up because you left him in the game. So it happens.
Well, that was the other deal when Jokinen and Prost went to the Rangers. That was the same thing. That deal was done and those guys were in the game, and whatever it was, Kodalik and whatever the hell came back, Higgins, I think it was like, well, yeah, if any of those guys get hurt, that deal goes sideways, which maybe would have been a good thing. I'm not sure. Anyway.
Yeah. With that return, you probably would have wanted those guys to get a shot off the knee or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Totally, for sure.
So just for perspective, off day in Tampa. So 10, 15 years ago, Rhett and Noodles have an off day in Tampa versus 2025, Rhett and Noodles off day in Tampa. What would the similarities or differences be? What would you be doing today, Retro, in Tampa, say early 30s, late 20s?
I'd be doing the same thing I did when I played. I mean,
all right.
You're going to be outside. You're going to be at a restaurant. You're going to have a couple drinks. You're going to have some stories. Yeah.
Couple drinks or
1,000.
whale's rib?
Not
Yeah,
in
you
Tampa.
go to a nice steakhouse. There's that. I'm not a big strip club guy, but there's that Mons Venus or whatever. There's like that type of stuff.
That's dirty.
Yeah, you roll by there.
Don't
say
bring a
hello.
black light there.
But to
Isn't
me,
the Pancake House? Is it the Waffle House there by the
right by there, there's a
Yeah.
Waffle House. Yeah,
on the way
I heard.
home?
Anyways, that's. I had my rookie dinner when I was with the Islanders in Tampa, and this was like 1993 or 4.
Three.
Yeah,
They came in '93, so
Yeah, so 90, I think it was 94. I think I had my rookie dinner. It was me, Zygmunt Palffy, and Brett Lindros.
Wow.
Yeah. And they collected $1,500 from me and from Ziggy. And Brett Lindros had to pay a little bit more because he got a big contract. And they had it at a place, I think, called Chateau Madrid, where we each got I got almost like an urn from there. It was really weird. This I don't know, some sort of weird bottle. And we had a nice dinner, drinks, and then we ended up going to the strip club for a bit. And I was so nervous because I didn't view myself as an everyday NHLer. So $1,500 was that hurt my heart.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what is going on here?
how could we spend that kind of money?
Yeah, I was so upset. And, I ended up having a good time, but that's all I remember about, times in Tampa. I never went out that much here in this city because it always felt like you were just moving on. It was like a back-to-back or something like that. So it was night before the game and out type of thing. So we didn't spend a lot of time here.
Yeah, Ziggy Palffy was going to hang around for a while.
Great hair.
Out of the three, Brett Lindros was the guy with the shortest cup of coffee out of you three. So there you go. He was a high first rounder.
Conkies.
Well, remember Donnie Maloney said we got the better Lindros? That was his quote.
Yeah.
Oof. I mean, I love Brett. And you know what? Who knows what his ceiling would have been had he not had the concussion issues? Because he did have, he had concussion issues. And I do believe to this day he still does. Like him and Eric are very, very, into concussion prevention and all of that. I really like their family. I know they got a hard rap early on, but when you think about it, Eric Lindros changed the landscape so much for the NHL, for on and off the ice. You think about it. Remember the carts, like the hockey carts. He came into the league and he was like, I'm getting a piece of that. You guys aren't. Like all of us got paid for hockey carts. That was like the Eric Lindros 91. I got included in all of those sets because I was drafted in 91 and I was the second goalie chosen. Eric Lindros changed the dynamic out of all of that. He made $3 million, hadn't played an NHL game. So Gretzky goes, hold on a second here. It's what I make. So I got to make more. Like he changed a lot of things. And it wasn't popular back then, but man,
we got to let you go. We've been talking to you for like a crazy long time here, but I was just thinking, because just remember when he came in, and the only highlights you see of Lindros now are him getting leveled by Scott Stevens or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But God, like he was unstoppable when he won the Hart with the Flyers, and he was unreal. And I was just thinking, what if you had a guy who was 6'4", 230, chiseled out of stone in today's game where you'd barely get hit anymore? Would he still be would he be even a bigger prospect, a bigger deal now, given his tools and size in this game? Or has it gotten faster, or has it changed? Would he not be?
I think he would be able to keep up. The biggest thing is that he scored. I can't find the video, and I don't want to find the video, but I talked to him about it with Joe. He scored a one-handed slap shot on me as he was holding somebody off. And it was a right-handed shot, and he just took a slap shot with one hand and roofed it on me. And I think Richie Pilon was on his back. Like it was something like a lunatic on his back, like not a tiny person. It was like Rich Pilon who would kill you. Like that type of stuff on his back. And Eric took a slap shot with one hand and roofed it on me. Like there was a time there where he was the most dominant player in the NHL. And that was in the league with Gretzky and Lemieux in it.
And and it was so different because you were scared of him.
Exactly.
Like Gretzky, Lemieux, Messier had a little bit of fear. You had a little bit of fear with Mess, but those other guys, you were like, I don't know how I'm going to handle them, but you didn't have fear. With Lindros, it was like
They put you through the boards and
Oh,
skate over top of you.
Happy to do it. Yeah, like that might be the intention. Actually, I'm not going to score. I'm going to dump it in your corner, and you're going to be crushed. Like I'm going to crumple you. I'm ending your game.
Yeah, he was. There was a time where and then what was it? What was the name of that line there with Renberg
Legion
and
of Doom.
the Legion of Doom? They were big, and they all had a perfect. They fit onto that line perfectly. Yeah,
Big
scary
boys.
stuff. That was right in my wheelhouse. I'm with the Islanders. We're playing the Flyers, and Hexy was my starter. I'll never forget. We're in Philadelphia. Hexy starting, and he liked to skate over top of the dot in warm-up right at the center ice. And Dave Brown, his best friend, knew that, so he went and stood on the dot. So Hexy slashed him. And so we had almost a brawl in warm-up because Hexy and Brownie got into it. They're best friends, but like not on the ice. Like they were feared enemies. And all I remember is standing in like this scrum, and I'm like, these Flyers look like they're lunatics. They're all these monsters, and I'm just standing in there, and a puck goes whizzing by my face. Hexy had shot a puck at Dave Brown. I'm like, this guy has lost his mind. And that was like, Islanders, Flyers.
That was Tuesday night.
That was a Tuesday night, exactly. Crazy stuff.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you. Love you. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Enjoy your day in Tampa.
Good hour.
All right. Sounds good, guys. We'll chat soon.
See ya.
Thanks.
Jamie McLennan, we got 2 lunatics in there. I've not heard that word in a while. He's got a lunatic on his back, some Rich Pelon guy on his back. It's true. He was, I'm every website you go to, but just like Hockey DB, 6'4", 230. It was one thing playing against him in the NHL. What about in 90, 91, 92, when he's in junior and he's probably 6'2", 6'3",
he was the same
He was full
size.
grown early. Yeah.
I mean, you guys are grown men in the NHL being like, this fucker's going to kill me. Imagine being a kid.
Yeah, he came to Saskatoon with the World Juniors tournament then. He was 16-ish and was that big. Like,
Force of nature.
Out of the way.
Just
Get out of the way.
Greek god, chiseled, 100 miles an hour. I might score 5, or I might take 5 guys out of the game with body checks. Put you.
He
right
really
to the
probably was the biggest shoot we missed. Like people talk about the time that Mario missed with the illnesses and the cancer and having to retire a couple of times. Like that could have been, right there. Like he would have had a shot at Gretzky's totals potentially. But Lindros is the biggest what if. I mean, maybe Bobby Orr's knees, but like Lindros was on right from before his draft year. He was a superstar.
Yeah. I mean, Cam Neely a little bit before him.
Yeah.
Sure.
But Cam came to it
Cam wasn't
later in his career.
Yeah. He was a big dude, but Lindros, we talked and heard about him for 2 or 3 years.
They
Easy.
drafted
before
6'5" guys for almost a decade because of him.
Yeah.
Guys that just
handle guys like him.
Size. We need size. You got to be big. Size.
Yeah. Monster. A monster. Came into the league his rookie year, had 41 goals in 61 games. 147 PIMs, 75 points, 41 goals. The next year, 44 goals and 97 points in 65 games. I mean, he was legit.
Yeah.
A legit one of one.
He was, if you could build a power forward, that's like you put all the pieces together. That was him. The only thing that was missing was the concussion-proof skull. That was the only thing missing.
And I wonder, because we just don't see hitting like we used to. The hits don't happen. The game is called differently. Might he be more dominant today coming into the league at 18, 19 than he did in the early 90s? I don't know.
He wouldn't have had the concussion issues because there's just so much less hitting.
Yeah.
Which would have made his entire career way scarier. But he was a man-child then. He'd be a man-child now.
And maybe his foot speed, right? He had good speed then. The game has gotten a lot faster, but I don't think he'd be a slow player now.
No, he had good speed, but it was.
I just try to think
straightforward.
Who would be the closest thing to him? Is it Brady Tkachuk? And again, the skill's higher. Like he was a 1.5 per game as a second.
I don't know if there's anybody quite.
He's basically
Tom
Jerome
Wilson.
McGinley on steroids. Like that's what you build.
Yeah,
it's wild.
It's
Fight, hit, score.
That young Warner kid.
Yeah, he's not a forward.
It's not too late, Rent.
No.
It's not too late. It's the Insider Hotline presentation of Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating. Yes, it's cold outside. Maybe you're having it, maybe you know what? Oh, no, we're doing okay. It's never a bad idea to get Crystal Waters to come and check things out. And if things do go on the fritz, on the blink, is that the terminology? 403-219-4100. Check them out, crystalclearcalgary.com, your crystal clear choice for home comfort. And who doesn't want to be comfortable?
It's important this time of year, Dean.
I love comfort.
20-something.
I am so much about comfort. So good. So great.
Had some news while Noodles was on.
Do you need the thing?
Sure, why not?
All right.
Barn burner.
We do have breaking news this morning.
Calgary Flames have sent out a press release. They have seen what we've seen, and they've noticed what we've noticed. They've gone to the American League to recall Ilya Solovyov, the Belarusian defenseman. He plays the left, and he probably can't be worse than some of the shit they've seen.
Oh, jeez. I said there's a way to deliver this news without being disparaging to others, but there we are.
He's had a great year. They've played him with a lot of different partners, checking in with Pike on him throughout the year. He's a half-pointer game player in the A, which is really surprising to me as a defenseman. And he's got some size. I liked him last year. He seems like a sturdy, reliable, can be physical if needed, but don't notice him. That's great.
Is there a corresponding move?
They have an empty roster spot right now, so they might just roll with 90. But I don't know. I mean, it's probably time to make a call on the Miramanov.
Enough experiment.
Yeah.
Had a great year. So we'll see what it looks like on the big squad.
There you go. Good stuff. We'll get to the Pinder Report in a moment. Now, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what is said on the show and what's said on the pre-show.
Okay.
But it feels like Warner's been kind of bragging about his pelvic floor here the last week to 10 days. You've been talking about, you've been doing something or what's going on?
I know people.
Do you?
You got to get in to know.
Is it as important as we're led to believe?
Important, Dean. It's life altering.
Because we've been talking about the Mod Medical Clinic. Go to bearoused.ca, learn more. Feels like as a guy, the straw stir in the drink is the pelvic floor. And if you don't have a steady, strong, healthy pelvic floor, there's a lot of things, your hips, your lower back, just your health in general, your inner workings. Nothing works quite right if your pelvic floor's got a little bit of, if it's on the fritz.
You're getting up in the middle of the night, going to the washroom.
No good. Who wants that?
I'd rather be sleeping. Why am I doing this
That's
again?
not comfort, and Dean's all about comfort.
I'm so much about comfort. We need to remove the taboo about men's health and sexual health and urinary, all of it. And it begins right here on Barn Burner. Speaking openly, because knowledge is power. Bearoused.ca is the website. The Mod Medical Clinic here in Calgary. It's another one of those things. We talk about McLeod Law. They're the best. They just happen to be in Calgary. Mod Medical Clinic, also the best, but right in our city. Viasure, Health Canada indicated for treatment of penile dysfunction. You got an injury, pelvic pain, ED, Pyrenees, soft wave technology, 15-minute treatments, forms new blood vessels, which increases blood flow. That makes perfect sense, right?
I like that, yeah.
It just makes more. If there's
vessels,
more
blood flow.
There's going to be more blood flow. You want blood flow. You need that sort of thing. Preventative therapy will maintain and optimize your current erections, help prevent tissue damage from natural aging, and yes, the pelvic floor. That's another one of those things. I'm seeing what it started with lab-grown diamonds. Like, bro, I'm hearing a lot about lab-grown diamonds. Same thing, pelvic floor. We've been talking about the pelvic floor health and all that sort of thing. It's showing up on, I'm seeing in TV commercials and stuff. Mod Medical Clinic, they're at the front of the line. They're here to help. Physiotherapy for your pelvic floor helps with incontinence, sexual performance, hip and lower back pain, and just assist in the stabilization of the core for your mobility. I want all that.
Yeah, that sounds like good things there. Huh?
I want all it. I don't want, well, except for incontinence, but you don't want that. But I want sexual performance and strong hips and lower back and that sort of thing.
I want to sleep throughout the night. Can I do that?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do that.
Bearoused.ca is the website. Learn more. Remove the taboo with the Mod Medical Clinic. Oh, there are some things. We did a long show last night. I'm a little foggy as to what that show was and what we talked about and what we've talked about on this show.
So Jack, when that show ends, it gets deleted and no one can watch it again later, right?
Thank God.
Nope.
Because
I
I'm
don't
pretty
know.
sure some things happened.
I don't know why, because I got thinking about that as I was going to sleep last night, and then certainly this morning as I woke up tired. It's like, so what was that all about? How long was it?
The show was
3.5 hours.
That's a record, including the Kerr records. That's the new standard. That's incredible. I came home from a night out, and you were still going.
Yeah, Pinder showed up. Mike Gould was. I've never seen a guy that was like high and drunk just from being overtired. His hair was all over the place. He was like, he couldn't form sentences by the end of it. His face was red. His eyes were bloodshot. He was a complete mess.
He got boomer baptized last night. That was his first real boomer experience.
And this is exactly the case. Finished with Pinder on the toilet taking a dump.
Close, but no. I didn't want to leave you because it was getting late and I felt like it was waning. So I'm like, I'll just take the phone with me. And if I'm taking the phone with me, I'm not going to stand. I'm going to sit. And then when I sat down,
Is that what happened? Is that what happened?
That's what happened.
Well, then when I sit down next thing, what the H? I can't even believe it.
You were doing the show from the pisser?
It was 2 a.m. and the show was so already offside.
Why
the
were
horses had left the barn. They were off the property. It was...
yeah, he was on his phone and then all of a sudden gets up and starts... Everything goes dark. He's in a dark room and then lights come on. And just as I start to say, are you on the shit? And then... Good night, everybody.
On that.
That'll do it. That's right. Golly, gosh, golly. I grabbed it. Now, this is just kind of going off the top of my head. We got this video right before we went, talking about another guy in the American Hockey League, Devin Cooley. He and Rory Cairns were at the AHL All-Star game. And I'm going to admit, I didn't watch a whole lot of the AHL All-Star game.
Really?
But what do we know about Devin Cooley is that he's kind of a character. He likes, his interviews are funny. He seems like a very likable guy. He was part of the AHL All-Star, I guess, the kind of skills competition. Mm-hmm. And this one was this was going to be a highlight reel save for me. This was Cooley basically laying out, this is how it went in the All-Star Challenge.
Has to. Austin Watson, he is all alone. Solo mission. What a great move. Austin Watson.
Grabbed the puck and tossed it into the bench, said, hey, keep that one for me. He wants to take that puck home, guy.
I had a long talk with him before the game. He was looking forward.
There's Cooley. He's on his back.
He's on his back. I like him even more. I mean, it's not a good save.
It's an all-star game. This is perfect. That's some Barry Breast shit right there. That's
his beer league at midnight on Sunday.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
You got the horsehair pads. Look at that. Love it.
Very flexible.
You got to give the fans what they want. That was in Palm Springs.
There you go.
Great rink there.
Looks like a guy's got a strong pelvic floor.
He does, yeah.
Very flexible. Not a lot of hip. Good range of motion there in the old hips. Okay. Okay. So Jack's called this one up. This was another thing. So what was the situation with the Sabres? I know they had the closed door meeting because there was a lack of a response to something with Tage Thompson.
Tage Thompson got hurt
in a row.
And yeah, he's their best player. It's not close. He's having a monster year and he gets clunked and everyone on the ice is just kind of like, It's like the whole Ricky Bobby, where do I put my hands? No one knew what to do. No one came to his defense. No one saw how he was doing.
Okay.
And so it was like team meeting afterwards. This shit don't fly. We got to go to war with each other. That's our best player. We got to stick up for him, blah, 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 blah. So, now they're going to.
Yeah. So now you're going to really see what these Sabres are made of the next time they take to the ice. It was against the Columbus Blue Jackets last night. An old flame, Dennis Gilbert.
Old friend.
Old friend. Opening draw says, you know what? This is the new. That's right.
You showed him.
The Sabres not going to get pushed around in our barn.
No, sir.
I want Dennis Gilbert to stop doing this.
Hey, you know what? Dennis is a.
No,
you have to love that about him, but like you say, Rhett,
you need someone better than that.
Stop doing that.
That is the pound for pound guy for me. Like, there's not a better fighter in the league than Matthew Olivier.
I'm with you on that, but for Gilbert, he's just willing. He's not tough, and he's been hitting the head too much. Like I'm actually, you're done. No more.
Yeah,
you have a life. You have a life after this, and it's gonna be affected.
Yeah, if you're getting some middleweights that don't know what they're doing, sure, but he can't be going in the heavyweight division with the Reeves and the Rempes, Olivier, Laurier. That's a different weight class. No,
and God love him. Like, again, you appreciate what he's trying to do and the response he's trying to show, and he did it here. And I think he's not good at it. And was it Columbus was it Olivier that went after Thompson? Like,
yeah, it doesn't really match
I'm
up.
not really sure.
It's not even the right. Like, I don't like it.
Yeah, you love the guy. You just wish there was someone better to do the job than your seventh defenseman who's all heart but not the best fighter.
Matthew Olivier, 6'1", 226. So
thick.
Height-wise, it's fairly even, but one seems to be better at it, more accomplished for sure.
He's got I think, more than 10 goals already too. Olivier's
he's got 10 on the year. Yeah.
Well,
he's a free agent this summer.
He's for himself, fellas.
Paid.
Yeah,
he'd look real good in a Flames uniform.
He really would.
He's from Biloxi, Mississippi.
That's
I
right.
had no idea.
Yeah.
He was born in Biloxi.
Yeah.
Was the old man play there or something like that? Because there's a story of how he's Mississippi. I'll figure it out.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
Olivier does not sound like your standard Mississippi last name.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Louisiana, well, Mississippi, man, we're gonna get rid of town. Do you wish you were in New Orleans right now, Retro? I'm obviously if the Bills were there, maybe it'd be one thing. But I'm seeing, you know what I'm seeing a lot? I'm seeing a lot of gumbo. I'm seeing a lot of
I made jambalaya yesterday.
Yes, a lot of eating going on down in New Orleans. Getting me jealous. Not that I mean, not that we were ever going to be going there, but you've never been. I've never been. All I know is this. I was told you don't want to go to New Orleans. Kind of gross. Yeah, it's. But then we've talked to even people on this show. It's like, I love New Orleans. Don't go to the French Quarter or whatever it's called. That's gross.
Street.
It was Brunt was saying, yeah, you don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's someone else, you're like, okay, whatever, take it with a grain of salt. When Brunt says it, okay, that's yeah. He says New Orleans is one of the most unique cities in North America, and you get it. It's the Southern culture, it's the Cajun stuff, it's the French influence. There's no other city like that in the States.
I would like to go to New Orleans, but I would want to follow an itinerary put together by someone that has a clue. Like, yeah, Bourbon Street for 3 days in a row.
No.
Mm-mm.
Go with Brunt. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, should
be some new stuff coming from Brunt. I would think fairly soon. Up close, his new
series
endeavor with the Nation Network. I really enjoyed the. Again, I'm a bit of a wrestling head, but so I kind of bought and paid for there. But he and Adam Copeland of the of WWE fame, although he's not there anymore. Check it out on the Leafs Nation YouTube. I think it's
right. That's
if you were going to go there, because clearly
Leafs,
longtime Maple Leaf, Adam Copeland. Let's okay. I said this earlier and I brought it up and it just reminded me. February 5th, 14th is Valentine's Day.
Oh shoot.
You still have time. We are dumb animals, eh?
10 days.
How long's Valentine's Day been on February 14th?
Does it change every year? What is the
Does it keep moving around or is it always on
February has that leap year, so I don't know.
Is it like the Easter? Easter's always bouncing around.
Does that affect the 14th?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's the 15th this year. That's right, because it's a leap year. Shoot.
Gosh dang it.
We'll look into it and see if that's actually
back
accurate
to
or
you.
not. But Vina Nova moved to the Market Mall location. They got a new location in there. You'll find it. It's easy. So you go in and then hang a right, and it's just on. It's going to be on your right hand side. You can probably GPS or something. I'm sure you'll figure it out. It's not hard. Better hours, better parking, the same great service, the same. It's perfection. It truly is. It's perfection in terms of diamonds. Built and grown, raised in a lab. They take care of them, bottle feed them right there at Vina Nova, and then pass them along to you in the perfect form of the diamond, right, and at savings well beyond what you're going to get for this dirty, out of the ground dirty diamond.
Dirty.
60-70% less for a perfect stone than what you'll pay for. I don't even know what people are thinking anymore. Same chemical composition, crystal structure, earth mine diamonds it's passe. It's an 8-track. That's what it is. If you're still buying these earth dirty things,
dirty,
you're buying cassette tapes. You're buying VHS tapes is what you're doing.
Beta.
Yeah. Get into the digital world.
Live in the now.
Live in today with Vina Nova. So good parking.
Yeah, I like that.
I was there. It was busy. It was no problem parking for days. Good job, Justin. Making it easy for us. Saving us money, top quality gems, and parking. That's what guys need. Make it easy for us idiots.
Mm-hmm. It's hard enough. Just remember what stupid day it is, the Valentine's.
Do you think that's what they do when they have their kind of research, their R&D meetings with Vina Nova? It's okay. We got to make things easy for guys. What do they need?
All these big lummoxes. We got to help them.
Well, they don't know what
morons,
to buy, so we'll
Lugans.
help them when they come in the door lost. We'll and diamonds are a winner regardless. It's whatever we give them, it's going to be a hit when their loved one opens it. And they're going to need some parking because they hate walking.
Yeah.
Guys hate walking. Do you want to go for a walk?
Some guys don't know how.
Pelvic floor.
Some guys got to learn all over again how to walk. Heel strike.
You've been
walking you've been walking on your tiptoes, the balls of your feet forever. Your calves must be huge. Idiot. VinaNova.com. Louisiana won't miss it, man. We get together. Time can't have Valentine's.
Ontario's calling me.
Ontario.
Again?
Mm-hmm.
Ontario called you last week.
Sentinel czar position?
Yeah, probably Doug Ford.
Dougie.
Probably.
The old FSAR. All right.
Probably Doug. Yeah.
Dougie.
Your dad? No. Guy in Ontario. Probably needs
the guy that smoked crack, his brother.
Need some advice. I said it yesterday. I think it was. You may not today. I'm not going for a test drive today. Why would I go? This is the weather.
Hey,
this is
maybe it's a little slippery. You got some snow on the ground, cold temperatures. This is how you know if the vehicle you're looking at can handle and hack a Calgary winter, like the hybrid touring CRV, the new Ridgeline, the Honda Civic Hybrid, the Accord that was redesigned. This is when you're going to find out. I have a feeling I know what you're going to find out. I said, yeah, this is what you need. This is built for Calgary. All-wheel drive, whatever. This is what we need. They are located in the Northwest Auto Mall. They're online at villagehonda.com, and they are looking to get some deals done. New, pre-owned, SUVs, sedans. Maybe you need the van. Maybe you have a growing family.
That's a good van, the Odyssey.
The Odyssey's it's a winner. It's a real winner. VillageHonda.com presents
Ryan Pinder.
The Pinder Report.
All right, fellas, let's get right into it. Flames were in action last night. More on the Leafs. You can head to FlamesNation.ca for that, including some other notes on Ryan Hartman's 10-game suspension. I don't know that that was heavy. And they basically said he's getting suspended like every 60 games here. You're going to get the book. Also, Dion Phaneuf trade flashback and what we're learning about Craig Conroy's vision. It's all FlamesNation.ca, Dean. All you got to do is surf right on over there. You surfer, you. Thank you. Wildcard standings look like this. Canucks an impressive shutout victory without Quinn Hughes at home last night over the Avs. Flames less impressive in a blowout loss at the hands of the Leafs. Leaves the two clubs tied. Exactly. Points, games played, and ignore the win column. The wins that actually matter and break ties, they're also tied in that. The row or woo.
Roll. Well,
Fun finish. 29 games left for each. Let's go. Schedule for the Flames looks like this for the remainder of the month. See that black hole in the middle? Black hole sun, why don't you come? That's your Four Nations break. And the Flames, where are you off to, Rhett? If you were playing on the 24-25 Flames, you've got 2 weeks. Greek Islands, you were saying yesterday?
No, you got to stay in the same time zone. So you got to go south, straight south.
Go to Rio?
Costa Rica.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
so what about Zeri? Because getting Zeri back in the ice. He's got to stick around, right?
I don't know if he has to stay around, but maybe they got a travel rehab program for him.
I'll find some ice in Costa Rica.
Santa Teresa, the surf village. I'm sure they got a
cup.
You got to play that last game. That's saying.
I told you guys, you got to play the last game. You can't be hurt.
Ball's got to get back in. Zeri's got to get back in. Your vacation depends on it, fellas.
Yeah, it does. Really does.
Can't get those deposits back, Dean.
No, you can't.
That's why it's
100%.
called a deposit.
Canucks, meanwhile, they look like this. It is going to be that. It feels like the 2-horse race. I've said it for a week now. It's going to be scoreboard watching for the rest of the year. Sharks tomorrow.
Oh,
that's a good spot for them against the hometown kid, Macklin Celebrini. Then the Leafs on Saturday at 5. You know that the Canucks love those early evening Toronto visits. That'll be a S show. And then out of the break, Vegas, Utah, LA, Anaheim. Okay. It's neither here nor there, but there it is. That's what the Canucks are facing. Ovechkin's still good at goals. Yeah, he is. Yeah, another last night, fellas. This is
empty netter.
17 to go. They all count. Wayne's empty netters are a part of his total too. 17 to go. Is he getting it, fellas? Is he doing it this year?
Yes.
I think he is too.
And
when he gets within 5,
lost interest again.
No, you come on.
I have.
What else have you got going on? What's
too many empty netters. He's hardly playing.
Okay.
It's not taking the steam out of this thing.
All right.
They got 30 games left on the button, if I'm correct. Maybe that's yesterday's. I'll refresh here. But
it's April bluggy. Somebody prorate at this guy. He's going to hit it in April. All right.
Yeah, I would think it's going to come down to the last week of the season if he's scoring at this pace. It's been an incredible year for 39 years old.
39.
It's
tough. I mean, I got
9.
Tonight's games. Boy, you must have been overwhelmed last night with all that hockey read. This is a much more palatable schedule.
Well, I couldn't join the 3.5-hour afterburner.
People wanted you. People were calling
his
for
rounds. He was talking to all the movers and shakers. He had to get recaps on all 14 games last night. Tonight, just 3. Bruins and Rangers is interesting. That's JT Miller has been unreal. 4 points in 2 games since joining the Blue Shirts again. And we'll revisit that in our Bet 365 segment later. Edmonton in Chicago. Throw that back up, Jack. That's a McDavid-Bedard showdown. We love that. And then the third game is Montreal at LA.
Boy, look at this.
They got their eyes looking at each other.
Look at the stink eye Bedard's giving to McDude there. I don't like the cut of your jib. Get in line, kid.
It's the Phil Deneau Bowl in LA tonight. I know it's a big one for him.
Oh, yeah.
Not doing it for you? You'd rather watch the other ones? Yeah, me too. Boston Rangers, that could be real good. 2 teams on the outside looking in the East. Now, you guys familiar with the In the Dome podcast?
Very much so.
It is on our network.
Yep.
Mike and Jordan, they're absolute beauties. They'll come and do some afterburners for us on weekends, a little later in the night. They got a little bit of the old potty mouth, but it's a heck of a show. And they were weighing in on Four Nations because, everyone's catching the fever.
Well, I just said I'm not going to cheer for them in the Four Nations Cup. I took
100%. No. Are you kidding me? I like how, some Oilers fans like, you have to cheer for him in 5 weeks. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not cheering for this guy. He's a fucking bum. I'll cheer against Canada. Hey, after the shit team Canada just pulled in World Juniors, who gives a fuck? Kidding me?
Totally. Who cares? There's no way. I don't understand this thing in general because, like, oh, you got to cheer for. Everyone's like freaking. You got to cheer for Team. I know who I am. I know where my loyalties lie. They do not lie with Connor McDavid. I will not cheer for him, dude. I will not cheer for him on a plane. I will not cheer for him on a train. It's like fucking green eggs and ham over here. I will not do it. Whether he's on Team Canada or not.
But is it like green eggs and ham? This will be an interesting social fan experiment because I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, oh God, I'm almost afraid that I'm going to start cheering for Team Canada and then be forced to cheer for Connor McDavid. Can you do both? Can you cheer against McDavid but for Team Canada? I'm just going to try. I'm sitting here going into the tournament not cheering for Canada.
This is incredible stuff.
You know what they've got?
The Golden Eye have a level of Oiler hate that's impressive.
Yeah, they've got scruples. Hey, that's some good scruples and morals right there. Hey, team before country. Can't do it.
Green eggs and ham is not the book, though.
On the plane, on the train?
Is that not it?
It comes around. He doesn't want the green eggs and ham, and then has the green eggs and ham.
He has it and likes it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Don't tell them that. Yeah, don't tell them that.
So
maybe like a redfish, bluefish or something. Maybe throw something different at them. Some other Seuss.
Yeah. Anyway, good work, fellas. That's impressive. It really
I do like green eggs and ham. Damn it.
So McDavid's a Leaf. Are they going to hate him as much? How does that work? I'm not.
All right.
We'll figure it out in a bit. Super Bowl Media Day yesterday, which means very, 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 very dumb questions from losers to professional football players. Let's have a listen.
Travis, what do you love more, Taylor Swift or phantom 15-yard roughing the passer penalties in the playoffs?
It's a good question. Anybody else?
Like all day they get shit like that. Awful.
I say this every year. With how unfun the NFL is, we're finding you for wearing the wrong colored cleats and all this sort of stuff, that they let this nonsense happen.
It's wild.
With its Super Bowl teams, blows my mind.
There's always some lady in a wedding dress that goes up to every player and asks if she can get married. It's a circus. It's insane.
I mean, I guess it's fine. I don't, but it boggles my mind that that they let that happen. It's the NFL.
Now, if you want some real reporting, we will be going to the Big Easy tomorrow to check in with our boy, Arash Madani. He's been down on the grounds there doing some great work. There he is. You know his work.
How the Eagles navigated the turbulence.
You know, he's got the Ricky Bobby thing figured out. Arash knows where the hands are. He's going to join us tomorrow, Retro.
As good hands. Yeah.
He's
a pro.
He's an absolute pro. And he is not hungover. He does not have beads on. That would be a tough assignment for some people.
Not him.
It's dialed in. We'll check in tomorrow with him. Should be around 11 Mountain for Super Bowl. Just a few days away now.
Nice.
Rhett's been cooking up some bets too. Oh, baby. He's been in the lab. Calgary FC a day away. Here's the tournament Champions Cup in CONCACAF. Look at all those countries and continents and Central American logos.
Is this a bracket?
And they're way up north. That's a map, Dean. Is the red and white of Calgary FC, the northernmost team in this 27 club tournament.
Do they need the lines, or could they have just put the logos where the?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. But there's
going to put the logos.
You got 2 or 3 in Mexico City. Yeah. So,
hey, can't wait. I do love CONCACAFs.
You have huge CONCACAFs as well.
I love a good CONCACAF.
Yeah, they play Pumas, the Mexican side, in Victoria tomorrow, and then a return leg, I believe, the following week.
Fucking Rhett's excited.
Mexico.
Look at him. Settle down, Rhett.
We should go to Mexico. Maybe that's what the guys are doing. Maybe they're going to Mexico to watch the CONCACAF.
That's a hell of a move. Let's do that. Can't cheer for McDavid. We're
feel
going
like that's not
back to the Cavs. Let's go. Let's go get bags of urine thrown on us. Let's go.
It's hard to say.
Yen? Do your dogs skateboard, Dean? Because I know you're a great pet owner and teach them all these tricks.
Yeah.
Because this corgi's got moves. Let's check it out. Now these are guys stairs. That's not ideal. Gorky's got it figured out, Rhett. Look at this. Yeah, okay, you get the picture. There's more stairs. We'll move to the next one. You were asking how the barn burner jet was coming.
I mean, it's pretty amazing.
We're not a dog show. It's not PETA over here. Go ahead, Ryan.
Dean, you're asking about how we're coming with our private jet for barn burner.
This dog.
And I was like, yeah, we'll probably have a jet ski, not a. I got an update on the barn burner jet ski.
Okay.
Baby steps. Here it is.
Yes.
There it is.
Who is this? Not your uncle? Is that your drunkle, right?
That's Stu.
Yeah. Riding in style. Anyway, you guys don't mind if we throw that on the expense side of the ledger there? That'd be a nice, get that done up with our colors.
I really wanted to see him drive it into a lake.
Well, that's the thing. I was going to say, this is one of those things I feel like there's been a lot of time and effort put into this. That has to have been an underwhelming feeling.
Well, it better be amphibious after all that, eh?
I'm not sure if it is.
Nah, maybe we'll stay away from the jets.
Damn it.
There's a greasy road and a large car accident.
Greasy road.
Yeah. So that's not no. Okay, 1, 2. An incredible speed, Harry.
Coming in hot.
It's on a bridge. Yeah. It's foggy. I don't like that. They're waving. Slow down. Slow down.
Yeah, I mean, drive faster. Oh, yeah.
They really need that Honda Ridgeline. That would handle much better than one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh, just walked right up. Jeez. Oh. No bueno. Look at the carnage. Not enough Hondas in there, people. You got to be safer. Jeez.
I don't see a single Honda in there. You're right, Ryan.
Come on, guys. Figure it out. Wherever that is in the world. Come on, guys.
Come on, guys.
Come on, guys.
Fellas.
Been a while since we did some parkour, but Rhett's still making videos. So we'll show you a few.
Just because you guys gave up.
Oh. I don't like that at all. I don't even like pointing the camera down there. Never mind the jump. It's got like a foot to land that thing. That's it.
I'm at the point now. I want the fail videos.
Kind of.
You can find them.
Yeah.
Really? Actually, no. I don't want to watch.
I don't want them. Now, what's this? You're getting into the merchandise game, Boom? Is that right?
Oh, heavy. Yeah.
You had that loom put in the basement.
Yeah.
No, these looms are huge. Well, hang on.
This is the wrong clip.
I guess we'll do this first. Let's just drop it. I'll pretend it didn't happen.
Well, just pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And
next one.
Go.
I actually want to see the car fall. No.
Oh, there's probably in it.
There's a dude in it.
Yeah, crash this dummy, right?
They're moving.
Once there was this guy.
Point being?
I don't know. Just why? How? What? It seems like a lot of money to do.
Like a smash-up derby is one of the greatest events you can attend. It's a wonderful thing, and it's stupid but great. This
entertaining.
There's a point to the smash-up derby. You're
trying
like
5 seconds of entertainment. That's it.
This is.
Yeah.
You're trying too hard.
Better use of a crane. Like swing it around, do so. Again. Whatever.
Let's get back to your loom in your basement.
My merchandise? Yeah, yes, Ryan. I'm into it now.
It's
yes.
a big old loom. Careful. Tino.
Oh.
In. Oh no, you're getting loomed. That's
yeah.
No, good thing Rhett was next door and
Safety first.
It's good.
It's my cocoon making apparatus.
Finally, yesterday, I paid Boomer his fantasy football winnings. I figured everyone was late paying their dues. I'd be late paying the winnings. Andrew McBride, first place in the regular season, a second place finish. Congrats on your almost championship season. Dean, a third title, the trifecta. Worst draft ever. 3 times now.
Ever. Last pick of the first round.
Loved
Defending champ.
Saquon
Against all odds.
Yeah.
Found a way.
2 of the best 15 players off the board. Everyone was jealous of that draft slot. Anyway, the different for last place, because Rhett, as last place, had to go. Well, you'll see the punishment video here. It's the blow up doll at the bar, 24-hour shift. Every drink you delete an hour. Publish your name.
He's got the suit on. That's nice.
Yeah, date night. She doesn't look too happy. Oh.
Can I get out of here, babe? Yeah, let's get out of here.
Washroom, wait 1 minute, and then unlock the washroom in exactly 1 minute.
He's quite a bit taller than she is.
Yeah, the women like taller men, dude. Yeah. So anyway, Rhett, it looks like you had a great night. Sorry about your season.
Next year. It's always next year.
It's always
Did you finish last? I thought it was the other guy. Shit.
I pulled it out of the fire.
Did you? You did, right?
I didn't finish last. No way.
Right. You wouldn't finish last. You were centimeters from finishing last.
Christian McCaffrey.
Screwed a lot of people.
He gave me a game. That was the difference.
Yeah.
That's your Pinder Report, Dean. There's always tomorrow for it as well. We can come back and do better.
Okay.
Just like Rhett.
Try not to keep him up all night next time.
Do you have that video of you dropping a deuce to end the show? Because that would be good right now to end it on a high note.
Nope. That didn't happen, and we deleted it.
Tough to find. Yep. The Honda Ridgeline, convenience of an all-wheel drive pickup, the smooth, comfortable ride of a sedan, right? The interior, did Car and Driver magazine, tops in its class in terms of practicality and comfort. If you've not driven a Ridgeline, you've not lived. That's me saying that, not Honda. That's me saying that. And you can. Northwest Auto Mall and online at villagehonda.com. Well, you can't drive it at villagehonda.com, but you can learn more details. Take one out for a rip.
Stuff for a rip, are you, bud?
You're going to love it. You're going to love it. I want to tell you about some other things here, too, before we get out of here. Definitely want to tell you about $1 million.
Well, $1 million. Got
a lot of places offering you chances to win $1 million right now. Probably not, eh? Service Credit Union says, that's us. We are, and we do. It's the Service Big Share Contest. We talked about it last year. It's back in full swing. Chance to win $1 million just by saving money. Anyone can enter to win. Become a member and start saving money at Service. Both very good pieces of advice. Every $500 saved gives you 5 entries into the Service Big Share Contest. The contest itself ends April 30th, 2025. There's a skill test required, but we have faith. For rules, visit service.ca/win. There's multiple ways to get entries. Double them up when you invest in a registered account like a TFSA or an RSP. Set up your paycheck for automatic deposit into your Service account to earn bonus entries.
Love that.
They've got special promotions during the contest period with interest rates and term lengths that are maybe a little bit better than what you would get ordinary. They're doing everything they can to A, earn your business, and B, make you a winner. And on top of that, just save money. It's a good idea. Don't just go blowing it, save it. Be smart, people. Service Big Share Contest on now until April 30th, 2025. Contest details. Service.ca/win. Yep. /win. Lindros scored a one-handed slap shot on me with some lunatic on his back. Freaking love Noodles.
Lunatic.
A lunatic you're looking for. Turn out the lights. We'll do some super chats to end the show in a moment. Warner has been Warner's been super invested in our Bet365 bets.
It's an important sponsor. Big segment.
Not just the Flames are playing tonight. Why? Let's go with
Coronado goal.
We'll get some shots on goal, that sort of thing. Now you can. It's not really the way Rhett rolls.
No.
Rhett goes a little bit deeper. Bet365, world's largest sports betting platform. Get that account open today. If you haven't already, use the promo code NATION when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Both Pinder and Rhett dipping a toe today.
Let us off, Rhett.
I like different things, I guess.
Okay.
Like yesterday, I had any other.
Yeah.
Felt like that was a good choice.
Okay.
It really jumped off the page at me. So I locked that one in for the Super Bowl bets.
Mm-hmm.
Today I saw octopus to be scored by any player, and I had to take it. Yes.
What?
An octopus, Ryan.
Do you know what it is, or
I don't? Doesn't
went with
matter. It says octopus on a bet. You take
to
it.
do it.
Yeah.
Well, good
plus
luck.
1,200? That's for an octopus. That's a great number.
I don't know what I'm cheering for, but I really hope it works out for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If someone could let us know what octopus is, that would be awesome. But that is
Great.
wicked. Like you guys don't. I thought for sure Pinder would know.
No idea. Octopus.
Octopus to be scored.
Octopus.
I got it here.
All right.
8.
Here's one. The same player scores a touchdown and a 2-point conversion on the same drive.
What?
Easy peasy.
You know what? I don't know that I've ever heard that before.
Octopus.
Because that's 8 points.
Right.
Octo.
And you know what? You didn't get pigeonholed into it having to be Kelsey or something. You got
No.
any player.
Anyone.
Good luck, Rhett.
See a Saquon octopus. Hell yeah.
And I'm all about records, and I hope the Eagles run the ball right down Casey's throat. Run, fly, whatever you got to do. Beat them bad. 281 plus rushing yards. Super Bowl record. Plus 1,600. Saquon Barkley, he's going to crush it.
I like the line at the bottom there.
I do too.
It's always runny in Philadelphia.
See? It's great.
365. You guys are the best.
You got a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Fellas, banger alert. Mika Zibanejad's last 3 games, 4 shots, 6 shots. Plus 110 at 3+ shots. He's come to life. He's playing with JT Miller, the thriller, and a little bit more of a long shot, big game hunting. Miller's had 2 points in each of his 2 games with the Rangers. He does it again, plus 265. Ow! Thriller. We hit both those bets yesterday, too.
Where the hell did
Washington and Winnipeg.
There you go. Bet365. Those are our bets. Octopus. Learning stuff today. I had no idea. There you go. World's largest sports betting platform. Get that app, download it, use the promo code NATION when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. It's been a while, but again, continued thanks to our great sponsors when we were in Jasper. Great sponsors of the show, Booster Juice. They were our puck partner, I guess.
Yeah, they presented the game pucks.
Brought the pucks. Hard to do a tournament without pucks.
Real hard.
And that, you as a hockey coach with kids and stuff, did you grab the pucks? Who's got the the pucks are in my other car?
Rude.
It puts a wrench into your plans, but luckily we had Booster Juice. Download the new Booster Rewards app today. Earn those berry points for delicious and nutritious smoothies, drinks, and food that'll get you through the day. Being healthy. Maybe it's part of the new you in 2025. Get you some Booster Juice. And, of course, our good buddies over at Yeti. The Camino Carry-All Tote Bag, you'll find it at yeti.ca. It's brand new. They've got 3 sizes, the 20, the 35, and the 50. What are you hauling? What are you carrying with you? They had kind of said, this is great for if you're going to the ODR, you got your skates and helmet and gloves, you throw everything in there. Oh, but what if it gets dirty? What if a skate blade? Well,
hose it out.
It's tough inside, tough on the outside, waterproof material, easy to clean, durable, and there's a couple different ways. There's the shoulder strap, there's the handle that you can use. Basically, what it comes down to is that's really smart design. Yeah, it's what Yeti does. Built up for the wild.
Can vouch for it as well. Oh, what? Has the purple one.
How'd you get one so quick? They're brand new.
She found it last year, but I'm sure they have different sizes and colors now. But yeah, it can be for your skates for the dudes. Also, she loves having that thing in the summer, take to the beach, whatever. Let's go.
Hashtag crave the cold, hashtag built for the wild. Find out more at yeti.ca. There you go.
Between you and I feel like we could open our own Yeti store, eh?
Well, yeah, I like a quality product. I like the durability.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Gotta like it. And before we go, we, of course, have the super chat. During the course of the show, you get into the YouTube chat, little cash donation. Guarantees you within reason, that your comment is going to be shown on the program, and we'll take that money and send it over to the Youth Centers of Calgary. There's wall sheet $1. Didn't have I think you followed it up. But we're still learning. What's up with the wallpaper in Pinder's bathroom? You need to check out Afterburner last night if you didn't get to see it. Lol. Keep up the good work, buddies.
Yeah, no scrolling forward. You have to earn that wallpaper. It's 3.5 hours in.
Yeah, it's unique. It looked like some kind of like.
Oh, yeah, what? She's got some weird like palm trees and jungle.
Yeah, it looked like you're in the Amazon or something out in the wild. Yeah. It's quite a night. Not sure that's going to happen again anytime soon.
Yeah.
Look at Kenny boy.
Yeah.
Kenny's in with $20. Instead of sacrificing the future for old players, how about calling up the kids on the Wranglers who are busting their ace? Are the Flames really that bad if they add them to the current roster?
Well, Connie's wife watches the show. She told Connie they called up Solovyov. So, Ken, you're at the right place.
There you
You're
go,
moving
Ken.
the needle here, Kenny.
Yeah. And we've seen, listen, they got Klapka's been in, Cairns has been in, Bishop's been in.
Bishop.
And I would, right? You're also at the not the mercy, I guess, but is the roster healthy? Are there injuries? You're not just, that's part of it too.
You'll see Stromgren. And look, they've been carrying 8D all year, so you haven't seen the defense. But now with Bahl out, an opportunity for Solovyov, who has been next man up there.
I get it. It's just, whenever you talk about, well, they need some D, you got to get a defenseman. Oh, you got it. Again, we're not talking about an old player. Don't go out and get
a 36-year-old fossil.
Zach Bogosian. It's
Right.
if there's somebody that fits in regardless of where you did. That's all we're saying. But I
Solovyov's
understand
got some
people-
size too. I don't mind that at all.
Sure. I mean, whatever works. There's Mike Gould. The $4.44 donation. First time watcher. No kidding. Got to hear Rhett's top 5 soups. Rhett bailed. He let it be known he didn't want to go long today, so he's gone.
Dang, that's too bad. Mike spent all that money.
Yeah.
He hasn't asked me about how to invoice last night.
Yeah. Mike was on last night on the long edition of Afterburner, and we went into his top 5 soups. It was kind of a
tough look.
Not great. He was rattled. He was tired. I don't know that he's a soup guy. He clearly doesn't know the show. Somebody asked about Aussie Brad. He's like, "Who's Aussie Brad?" It's like, you don't.
I watch the show all the time.
I watch all the time. Who's Aussie Brad? Stop, Mike.
Mike, we'll see you next Tuesday. Get out.
Hopefully Mike's doing okay, though. He was really kind of a basket case last night. He was disheveled and rattled. He was a mess. But that happens.
Yeah.
Not everybody can hang. You know what I mean? What we do.
Scared Steinberg, he wouldn't come on. Aussie
Yeah.
Brad said he was at training. He would have come on. Oh, mate, I was at training, getting the fellas ready.
Training.
Yeah, because
How about
he
that?
coaches that Aussie rules over down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doug didn't donate, but it was the best Afterburner ever. That should be the new format.
No,
I don't know what
absolutely.
format you're talking about.
No, the 3.5 hours until 2 a.m. is
Incoherent
not-
rambling for hours on end. I don't know that that's any.
How
kind
many
of a model
super chats did you have? Like that was unbelievable.
We did really well. Any idea? Did we ever go back and count what we had? Like it was.
Jack thought you were
over
full.
100 for
That's
sure.
Incredible. Like 50 separate.
Yeah.
Over $100 easy. Yeah.
We did well. There you go. That's a super chat every day. Super chat is wide open, little cash, and we send it over to the good folks making a difference with the Youth Centers of Calgary. Tomorrow's game day. Colorado Avalanche.
They'll be a little grumpy as well after being shut out in Vancouver.
Yeah, I suppose.
All socked in with the rain. Couldn't beat a Quinn Hughesless team.
They didn't blame it on the rain, did they?
Tough to say. I haven't seen any of the post. We were busy doing a very, very thorough post-game show with you and drinking. So,
Hope not. Hope that's not the case. Girl, you know it's true.
Cale Makar and Logan O'Connor return home.
That's right.
Homecomings. Be great Flames one day.
See, like when we talk about trade for a guy like Cale Makar. Regardless of where you are in your arc as a team, you're going to want a guy like Cale Makar in your blue
You're
line.
okay with adding a Makar to this blue
That's the kind of deal that I am a proponent of.
Okay.
Easy.
I'll take that
That's
under
an easy deal to
consideration.
make. Yeah. If they can find some other,
shoot.
some other pieces. Yeah. I think that'll do it.
Yeah.
Do you think that'll do it? What do you
Give
think,
me
Jack?
that.
How do we do today?
Well done.
You're not feeling well, eh, buddy boy?
No, I'm I'm gonna go have a shower again.
Clothes on again?
Maybe.
I
Why
feel like
not?
you needed another.
I feel like I needed a good sleep, and I did not.
You need another medical opinion. When I'm not feeling well, I just go sit in the shower until I run out of hot water.
Okay, interesting.
But whatever works. I hope you're feeling better, buddy.
I'll be all right.
All right. Do you need us to send you something? Do you need some food?
No, I got food. I got my soup.
Still?
I got the big box of Ichiban. I've got soup for days.
Not really soup. It's kind of. I don't think that's going to make anybody feel better.
This guy's eating like a college student. We got to send him some real food.
I know.
Poor bastard.
Poor Jack.
That'll do it.
See you, buddies.